Prof Shagbark. I talk a lot about my GLC stuff, so I'm going to start showcasing some of my GLC decks. I'm going to start out with my dark GLC deck. My dark GLC is based all around poison, right? So I'm going to go through the cards and kind of explain some of them, and you'll be able to see the deck list in the description. So if you're interested, feel free to use it. I think it's fun. Sure, let's go with it. So we have Trubbish and then Garbodor. So Garbodor, the reason, we need to evolve into Garbodor, the reason for Trubbish, right, is for the call for family. So if it is my starting Pokemon and I have nothing else on my bench, I can at least go find another basic Pokemon to put onto my bench. But the real idea is to have my Garbodor in there with the ability, once during your turn, if a stadium is in play, you may make your opponent's active Pokemon poisoned, right? So I base this entire deck on poisoning and escalating the poison through other things in here as well. So having just having a stadium in play, which a lot of times in GLC there are stadiums in play, and it doesn't have to be my stadium, it just has to be a stadium. So even if my opponent plays a stadium, I will have access to my, what's the name of the ability? Poisonous Puddle. That's a good name. I like that name. So, and then I have Seviper, which spits poison, right? But I like the second attack at Venoshock, where it is, if you does 60 plus. If your opponent's active Pokemon is poisoned, this attack does 120 more damage, right? So it can do 180 damage for 3 energy. But you'll see later that I do run a twin energy in here, so to be able to get my twin energy onto that would be great. Things like that. The Mareanie for a poison sting, and then I call it Mareanie. I know it's not, but it's Mareanie. Yeah, that's fine, right? But the Toxapex for 1 dark energy, 10 plus. If your opponent's active Pokemon is poison, this does 120 damage. So for 1 dark, I do 130 plus poison damage. Love that combo. I'm gonna put that over there and start stacking. Start stacking like this, right? Morpeko, right? This is essentially just a free retreat Pokemon to put up into the active whenever something gets knocked out, so that way I can just retreat into what I need or what I want. But yeah, because its ability is in a hungry hurry. If this Pokemon has no energy attached, it has no retreat cost. I'm probably not going to be using its attack. Not that it's bad, right? Energizer Wheel does 70 damage for 2 energy, but then you move those 2 dark energy to any one Pokemon on my bench. So I do get to like power up some of my different Pokemon in that way, but probably just using it as a free retreat. The Pecharunt, which is the toxic subjugation, right? As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, put 5 more damage counters on your opponent's poisoned Pokemon during Pokemon checkup. Again, adding to the poisoned Pokemon. So instead of doing 6, instead of doing 1, it does 6, right? Which is great. Brute Bonnet, as long as this, once during your turn, if this Pokemon has an ancient booster energy capsule attached, you may make both active Pokemon poisoned, right? So just again, something to poison the opponent's active. Yes, I get poisoned as well, but I'm not as worried about that because I'm not always escalating my poison, right? And then we have the Croagunk and Toxicroak. The ability on Toxicroak is put 2 more damage counters on your opponent's active poison Pokemon during Pokemon checkup, right? So if I have that in play and the Pecharunt and the active, and my opponent's poisoned, right? So that's 5 plus 2 is 7 plus 1 because it's regular is 8, right? So that's 8 poison damage during each Pokemon checkup. So that's 160 damage within 2 turns, which people don't realize that's a lot. That's a lot, especially with like single price Pokemon who usually don't have that high of HP. It gets up there pretty quickly. We have the Hisuian Qwilfish into the Hisuian Overqwil, right? For no energy, your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned during your Pokemon checkup. Put 5 damage counters on there. Essentially, it does the same thing if I have my Toxicroak in play, and instead of having Pecharunt up there, I have a higher HP Pokemon that is doing that, and then it can also attack for 50 and can't retreat, so it can keep a Pokemon there to keep it poisoned and knock it out eventually, right? So the Koffing with Ascension into my Galarian Weezing with neutralizing gas. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent's Pokemon in play have no abilities except for neutralizing gas. This is a stall tactic, just to allow me to set up and get things ready to go and running. Then I have my Purrloin and Liepard, right? Because I need to draw cards, so I can discard a card from my hand and then draw 2 cards. Pretty big staple in dark GLC decks, right? So that's all of the Pokemon that I play, which is really fun. The entire idea is I'm just poisoning you and escalating that poison in different ways, right? So onto my people, right? Arven, search your deck for an item and a tool card. Obviously, my ideal tool card is the Ancient Booster Capsule for my Brute Bonnet, but that doesn't mean I don't have other things in here that can allow me to maybe invoke poison, right? Ball Guy, search out all of the, or not all, 3 different item cards that have ball in their name, right? Guzma, switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active. If you do, then I switch for mine as well. So if I want to put something different in there, ideal, right? Jacq, search your deck for up to 2 evolution Pokemon. As you can see, I play a decent line of different evolutions, so going and finding those is really nice. I play Jacq over Arazu just because I don't know, I want to. No reason not to. Janine's Secret Art, choose 2 of your dark Pokemon for each of those Pokemon. Search your deck for a basic dark energy and attach it to that Pokemon. If it was to an active one, then you poison it. Koga's Trap, right? Your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused and poisoned. I just found this card and I'm kind of in love with it, especially, oh my gosh, oh no. Pause. Back, because it's amazing. It's a hypnotic laser, which you'll see here later, but as a supporter card, so not as great as just being an item, but a great thing to have in this poison deck, because that's exactly what I'm going for. Lusamine, put any combination of supporter and stadium cards from your discard pile into your hand. Ideal. Yes, this is a 3rd place stamped one. No, I did not get 3rd place. I paid money for this. It's just really cool. Marnie, each player shuffles their hand and puts it on the bottom of their deck. I draw 5, you draw 4. Full art Pierce, search for a dark Pokemon and an energy card and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. Teammates, if you can only play this card if one of your Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's last turn, search your deck for 2 cards, any 2 cards, which is huge, right? Put them into your into your hand and shuffle your deck. Raihan, knocked out, attach a basic energy from your discard pile, search your deck for a card. Roxanne, if your opponent has 3 or few prize cards remaining, shuffle. Each player shuffles. I draw 6, you draw 2. Right, so that's the end of my people. Now places. My Perilous Jungle during checkup, put 2 more damage counters on each poisoned non-dark Pokemon. Right, so what were we at? We were at 8, we're now at 10. 10 damage counters for poison with this each checkup. Incredible. Same thing with Virbank City, it's just not for the non-dark Pokemon. This is, so my Pokemon wouldn't take the extra 2 if it was also poisoned, but with the Virbank City Gym, it would, right? I'm actually going to put the places down here with the people because there's still a decent amount of items I need to go through. All right, so Buddy Poffin to get out essentially all but my Hisuian Qwilfish starter basics there. It doesn't get my Brute Bonnet, Pecharunt, or Seviper either, but that's okay. That's what I have. Some other like Nest Ball and Ultra Ball and things like that to get that too. The Dark Patch to attach a basic Dark Energy from my discard pile to one of my bench Dark Pokemon. Escape Rope in case I don't want to be poisoned anymore. Evolution Incense because I have a bunch of evolutions. Same thing with Evo Soda to go get those evolutions. Field Blower in case I want to get rid of some Pokemon tools or stadium cards. Probably not as much stadiums, but a lot of different tools that people play. I don't want them to have on their Pokemon, so I get rid of 2 of those. Great Ball, Hisuian Heavy Ball, and this one. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is also asleep, right? Hypnotoxic Laser. It's banned and expanded, but it's not banned in GLC, which is amazing. It's probably because you can only play 1 copy of it in GLC, so you're only using it once. There's ways to definitely get things back into your deck, right? But the idea is this is only a one-time use type of deal. So really cool, really fun card. The Level Ball, right? Because a lot of my Pokemon are 90 HP or less as well. The Nest Ball to get another basic that's higher than the Buddy Poffin searchable Pal Pad to put some of these supporters back into my deck. Pokegear 3.0, find that supporter out of my deck. Quick Ball to hopefully discard discard a Dark Energy, get a basic Pokemon. Rescue Stretcher can either put a Pokemon from my discard pile into my hand or shuffle 3 Pokemon from my discard pile into my deck. Super Rod, combination of Pokemon and basic energy, right? Back into my deck. The Korean Switch. And Toy Catcher is just fun in here. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon that has 50 HP or less remaining with your opponent's active Pokemon. I put this in here because people don't like to be poisoned, so they're going to retreat and a lot of times have less than 50 HP left. So if I really don't want you to use that Pokemon later on, I can use my Toy Catcher, call you back up, poison you again, and knock you out so you can't, right? It's just a fun, silly card to put in there that you definitely don't see almost in any decks whatsoever, but I wanted to use it. Ultra Ball in here, discard 2 things, go get Pokemon. The VS Seeker, yes, this one is older than it is supposed to be, but I don't have that many VS Seekers, and they're like $5 a piece. So we have this, right? What it does, search your discard pile for a supporter card, show it to your opponent, and put it into your hand. And then my tools, so this is Pokemon, people, places, things, and stuff. Yes, this is just the stuff. Pokemon tools. The Ancient Booster Energy Capsule, obviously for my Brute Bonnet over here. It gets 60 HP and it can't be poisoned essentially or asleep or any kind of special condition, right? So that goes on Brute Bonnet. The other one is my Poison Barb, right? If the Pokemon this card is attached to, if the Pokemon this card is attached to is your active Pokemon and is damaged by an opponent's attack, the attacking Pokemon is now poisoned. So even if it isn't poisoned, for some reason it wasn't poisoned, like if I knocked something out and it came up and attacked me so it wasn't poison, it becomes poison when it does attack me, right? And starts the whole poisoning thing on that turn instead of having to wait until it's my turn, right? And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 basic dark energies. 1 hiding energy, right? As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon and provides dark energy and it has no retreat cost. And then the twin energy, because a lot of my evolution Pokemon need 2 colorless on it. So having this 1 twin energy in there allows me to kind of like pick and choose which Pokemon I have in play and which one's going to need to be attacking first or quicker before I can attach any more dark energy to them, right? So here's my dark GLC deck that is based around poison. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Bye.